a day on Mars is only 37 minutes longer than a day on Earth. That's right, 24 hours and 37 minutes. So if you ever packed your bags and moved to the red planet, your daily routine wouldn't need a huge adjustment. But don't get too comfy. Mars might keep time like Earth, but everything else? Totally different. There's no breathable air, temperatures can swing from warm to freezing in a heartbeat. And oh yeah, planet-wide dust storms that can last for months. Still, if you're into long sunsets and quiet neighborhoods, it might just be your kind of place. At least the clock's familiar. Our journey begins with perspective. Earth, our home, orbits a star we call the Sun. It's one of over 100 billion stars in our galaxy, the Milky Way. And the Milky Way is just one of trillions of galaxies. In this cosmic ocean, Earth is a grain of sand. If life arose here, could it have arisen elsewhere too? Stars are born from clouds of gas and dust, collapsing under gravity. Around them, leftover material swirls into disks, the nurseries of planets. This process happens everywhere across time and space. Planets form, some rocky, like Earth, others gaseous, like Jupiter. Among them, some fall into the habitable zone. Not too hot, not too cold, just right for liquid water. And where there's water, there might be life. Life as we know it needs water, carbon, energy, and time. These ingredients aren't rare. We found amino acids on meteorites, water on moons, and organic compounds drifting in space. If the building blocks are everywhere, is life everywhere too? Let's zoom in. Could life exist closer than we think? Mars, once warm and wet, now cold and dry. But under its surface, could microbes still survive? Europa, a moon of Jupiter, encased in ice, but beneath it, a deep ocean warmed by tidal forces. Enceladus, a tiny moon of Saturn, blasting water into space through icy geysers. Signs of a hidden sea. If alien life exists in our solar system, it might not be little green men, but something far simpler. Bacteria, extremophiles, survivors. Beyond our solar system, we've discovered over 5,000 exoplanets. And counting. Some are Earth-sized orbiting stars like our Sun. The Kepler and TESS missions have revealed a universe filled with potential Earths. Imagine a blue planet orbiting a distant star, clouds drifting in its sky, oceans shimmering beneath alien suns. Could something be living there, watching their own night sky and asking the same questions we are? Here's the mystery. If the universe is teeming with planets and potential life, why haven't we heard from anyone? This is the Fermi paradox. The possibilities are endless. Maybe intelligent life is rare. Maybe civilizations self-destruct before reaching the stars. Or maybe they're out there, listening, and we just haven't said the right thing yet. For decades, we've listened. The SETI program scans the sky for signals, patterns that wouldn't occur naturally. So far, silence. But in 1977, a strong signal from space was detected. The famous WOW signal. It lasted just 72 seconds and never returned. Was it a cosmic fluke or a missed hello? In recent years, the conversation around alien life has shifted. Pilots and military officials have reported unidentified aerial phenomena, objects that defy known physics. Governments are slowly declassifying footage. The truth? Still murky, but it sparked a renewed global curiosity. What don't we know? Imagine the moment. A signal decoded, a ship spotted, a microbe discovered under Martian ice. It would change everything: science, religion, philosophy. We'd no longer be alone in the universe. We'd be part of something bigger. If a civilization is thousands or millions of years ahead of us, what would they look like? Would they be explorers, observers, or something else entirely? Would they recognize us as intelligent life, or just noise on a small blue dot? For now, the universe remains quiet, but every star in the night sky is a possibility. And every question we ask, every telescope we build, brings us one step closer to the truth. Are we alone? Or is someone, or something, already watching? Jupiter is basically the king of the solar system, and not just because it's huge. This gas giant is so massive it doesn't even orbit the Sun the same way the other planets do. Nope. The Sun and Jupiter actually orbit a point in space that's just outside the Sun's surface. That's how big Jupiter is. It literally pulls the Sun around with it. Oh, and it storms? There's one called the Great Red Spot, and it's been raging for over 300 years. It's so big you could fit 3 Earths inside it, and still have room for snacks. Jupiter's wild. On March 29, 2025, Katy Perry made history. Not on stage, but in space. She became one of the few civilians to travel beyond Earth's atmosphere, joining a new wave of space tourism that's turning science fiction into science fact. Her journey took place aboard the Nova X Artemis capsule, reaching suborbital space at over 3,000 miles per hour. That's nearly 4 times faster than a speeding bullet. In microgravity, astronauts experience weightlessness, perfect for floating, flipping, and yes, even applying glitter. And though she couldn't hear her own music outside the capsule because sound doesn't travel in a vacuum, Katy did bring a playlist, just in case Mars has aux. The trip lasted just 11 minutes. But in that time, she crossed the Kármán line, officially entering space, saw the curvature of Earth, and experienced 6 times the force of gravity during re-entry. Not bad for a pop star who once sang about aliens. So now when people say Katy Perry is out of this world, well, technically, they're right. Here's a strange but true space fact. Apparently, space smells terrible. Astronauts who've done spacewalks say that when they come back into the spacecraft and take off their suits, there's this strong smell, like burnt steak, hot metal, or even welding fumes. Why? It's because high-energy particles in space cling to their suits, and once they're back in the cabin with air, boom! That funky space scent hits like a cosmic barbecue gone wrong. So yeah, space might look beautiful and mysterious, but it apparently smells like someone overcooked dinner in a garage full of power tools. Not exactly what you'd expect from the final frontier. Here's a fun space fact that might stretch your imagination. Literally. When astronauts go to space, they can actually grow up to 2 inches taller. Why? In microgravity, there's no force compressing your spine, so the vertebrae expand slightly, kind of like a spring uncoiling. But don't get too excited. Once you're back on Earth, gravity brings you right back down. Literally and figuratively. So yes, space can make you taller, but unless you plan on living on the ISS full-time, it's more of a short-term glow-up.
There's a giant cloud in space that contains enough alcohol to make octillions of bottles of liquor. It sounds completely made up, but it's real. About 10,000 light-years away from Earth, near the center of our Milky Way galaxy, astronomers discovered a massive cloud called Sagittarius B2. This cloud is one of the largest molecular clouds ever found, stretching hundreds of light-years across. What's so unusual about it? It's filled with complex molecules, including ethyl alcohol, the same type of alcohol found in alcoholic beverages. Before you start planning the biggest party in the universe, there's a catch. The alcohol isn't sitting in bottles or even in liquid form. Space is incredibly cold, around -450 degrees Fahrenheit, so the alcohol exists as a gas mixed with dust and other chemicals. If you somehow traveled there, you wouldn't be able to drink it. Scientists estimate this cloud contains enough alcohol to fill quintillions upon quintillions of bottles. It's such a staggering amount that it's almost impossible to imagine. Even more fascinating, Sagittarius B2 doesn't just contain alcohol, it also contains molecules that are considered the building blocks of life, including compounds that help form amino acids. Discoveries like this suggest that the chemistry needed for life isn't unique to Earth, it may be happening all across our galaxy. This is one reason astronomers are so excited about molecular clouds. They're like giant cosmic laboratories where nature creates increasingly complex molecules that could eventually become part of new stars, planets, and maybe even life itself. So the next time you look up at the night sky, remember that somewhere out there is a gigantic cloud filled with alcohol and the ingredients for life, floating silently through space. The universe is far stranger than science fiction, and we're only beginning to discover what else is hiding among the stars. There's a planet where it literally rains glass. It sounds like something from a science fiction movie, but astronomers have discovered a planet where powerful winds carry molten glass across the sky at thousands of miles per hour. The planet is called HD 189733b, and it's about 64 light-years away from Earth. It's known as a hot Jupiter, which means it's a gas giant roughly the size of Jupiter but orbiting extremely close to its star. In fact, this planet is so close to its star that 1 year there lasts only about 2.2 Earth days. Temperatures on the side facing the star reach nearly 1,700 degrees Fahrenheit. That's hot enough to melt many metals. Because the planet is tidally locked, just like the moon always shows the same face to Earth, one side is in constant daylight while the other side is trapped in endless darkness. This extreme temperature difference creates one of the most violent weather systems scientists have ever discovered. Winds roar across the planet at more than 5,000 miles per hour. For comparison, the fastest tornadoes on Earth usually stay under 300 miles per hour. Those incredible winds pick up tiny particles of silicate, the same material that helps make sand and glass on Earth. The intense heat melts these particles into droplets, and as they're blown through the atmosphere, they fall as scorching, sideways rain made of molten glass. Imagine standing in a hurricane where instead of water, razor-sharp pieces of glass were blasting sideways faster than the speed of sound. Thankfully, no human could survive long enough to witness it. What's even more surprising is the planet's beautiful deep blue color. When astronomers first observed it, they thought it might look like a giant ocean world. But that blue color isn't caused by water. Instead, it's the planet's atmosphere scattering blue light and reflecting it back into space, while tiny glass particles help create the striking appearance. Scientists study planets like HD 189733b because they help us understand just how different worlds can be. Every strange planet we discover teaches us more about how planets form, how atmospheres behave, and what kinds of environments exist throughout our galaxy. So while Earth has rain, snow, and hail, somewhere in the universe there's a planet where glass storms rage non-stop under a brilliant blue sky. The universe is full of places more extreme than anything we could have imagined, and we've only explored a tiny fraction of it. There's a black hole so massive that its shadow is larger than our entire solar system. When most people think of a black hole, they imagine a giant cosmic vacuum cleaner sucking everything in. But the reality is even more fascinating. One of the most famous black holes is called M87 star. It sits at the center of a galaxy about 55 million light-years from Earth and has a mass of approximately 6.5 billion suns. To put that into perspective, if our sun weighed as much as a single grain of sand, M87* would weigh as much as an entire mountain. In 2019, scientists made history by capturing the very first image of a black hole. You may have seen it, a glowing orange ring surrounding a dark center. But here's what you're actually looking at. The black hole itself is completely invisible because not even light can escape its gravity. The dark circle in the middle is called the shadow. It's the silhouette created as the black hole bends and traps light around it. That shadow alone is roughly 24 billion miles across. If you placed our entire solar system inside it, from the Sun all the way past Pluto, there would still be room to spare. Despite its enormous size, M87* doesn't roam through space swallowing planets and stars. Black holes don't hunt for things to consume. They behave just like any other object with gravity. If you replaced our Sun with a black hole of the exact same mass, Earth would continue orbiting almost exactly as it does today. The difference is that we'd lose all the Sun's light and heat, and life on Earth would quickly disappear. Another incredible fact is that time behaves differently near a black hole. According to Einstein's theory of general relativity, gravity actually slows down time. The stronger the gravity, the slower time passes. Near the edge of a black hole, this effect becomes extreme. If you could somehow survive close to one, which you couldn't, you might experience only a few hours while years or even centuries passed for people far away. Scientists have even observed stars orbiting the supermassive black hole at the center of our own Milky Way galaxy. These stars travel at millions of miles per hour, proving just how powerful the black hole's gravity really is. And perhaps the most mind-blowing part is this: the photograph of M87* wasn't taken with one giant telescope. Instead, astronomers connected radio telescopes across the globe, from Hawaii to Chile to Antarctica, creating a virtual telescope nearly the size of Earth itself. Even then, the black hole was so far away that imaging it was like standing in New York and trying to photograph a single donut sitting on a table in Los Angeles. That tiny blurry image represented one of humanity's greatest scientific achievements. It confirmed predictions Einstein made over a century ago and gave us our first direct glimpse of one of the most mysterious objects in the universe. Here's a star so big that, if it replaced our Sun, it would swallow the orbits of Jupiter, and possibly Saturn. The star is called Scuti, one of the largest stars ever discovered. Located about 9,500 light-years from Earth, Scuti is a red supergiant nearing the end of its life. While it's difficult to imagine just how enormous it is, here's a comparison. Our Sun has a diameter of about 865,000 miles. You could fit roughly 1.3 million Earths inside it. But Scuti is on an entirely different level. If you could somehow hollow it out, it could hold billions of suns by volume. Now imagine placing Scuti where our Sun is. Mercury would disappear. Venus would disappear. Earth would be completely inside the star. Mars wouldn't stand a chance. Even Jupiter's orbit would likely be engulfed by its outer layers, and depending on the star's exact size at the time, Saturn could end up inside it too. To put that into perspective, light, which travels at 186,000 miles per second, takes just over 8 minutes to travel from the Sun to Earth. To cross Scuti from one side to the other, light would take around 7 hours. That's how unimaginably massive it is. But despite its incredible size, Scuti isn't the most massive star. In fact, it's surprisingly light for something so enormous. That's because it's incredibly spread out. Imagine comparing a beach ball and a bowling ball. The beach ball is much larger, but the bowling ball contains far more material packed into a smaller space. Scuti is more like the beach ball. Its outer layers are so thin that if it somehow replaced the Sun, the gas in its atmosphere would be far less dense than the air at the top of Earth's atmosphere. One day, Scuti will reach the end of its life in one of the most violent events in the universe. It will explode as a supernova, releasing more energy in a matter of weeks than our Sun will produce during its entire 10 billion-year lifetime. For a brief time, that single exploding star could outshine every other star in its galaxy combined. The explosion will scatter heavy elements like iron, gold, calcium, and uranium across space. Everything around you, even the iron in your blood and the calcium in your bones, was forged inside ancient stars that exploded billions of years ago. Astronomers often say, "We are made of stardust." And that's not poetry, it's literally true. Every atom heavier than hydrogen and helium inside your body was created in the heart of a dying star before our solar system even existed. So the next time you look up at the night sky, remember this: the atoms that make up your body have traveled across the galaxy for billions of years. You aren't just living in the universe. You are a piece of it. There are planets that don't orbit any star at all. When we think of a planet, We usually imagine something like Earth, circling a star and experiencing days, nights, and seasons. But astronomers have discovered a completely different type of world known as a rogue planet. These mysterious planets drift through the darkness of space completely alone. No sunrise. No sunset. No nearby star lighting the sky. Just endless darkness stretching in every direction. Scientists believe there could be billions, or even trillions, of rogue planets wandering through the Milky Way galaxy alone. But how does a planet end up without a star? One possibility is that it formed normally around a young star, just like Earth did. However, during the early years of a solar system, gravity can become incredibly chaotic. Giant planets pull on one another, stars pass nearby, and sometimes a planet gets flung out of its solar system entirely. Imagine spinning a ball tied to a string. If the string suddenly snapped, the ball would fly off into the distance forever. That's essentially what happens to many rogue planets. Some scientists also think certain rogue planets may have formed on their own, without ever belonging to a star in the first place. So what would it be like to stand on one? If the planet had no atmosphere, the sky would be permanently black, even during what would normally be daytime. The only light would come from distant stars, appearing much brighter than they do from Earth because there would be no atmosphere to scatter their light. Temperatures on the surface could drop to hundreds of degrees below zero, cold enough to freeze almost everything solid. At first, that sounds like a completely dead world. But surprisingly, it might not be. Some rogue planets could still generate heat deep inside their cores from radioactive elements left over from their formation. If they also had a thick atmosphere, that heat might become trapped, creating underground oceans of liquid water beneath layers of ice. That means life, at least simple forms of it, might survive without any sunlight at all. On Earth, scientists have already discovered entire ecosystems living deep beneath the ocean near hydrothermal vents, where organisms survive using heat and chemicals instead of sunlight. If life can exist there, it's possible similar environments could exist beneath the frozen surface of a rogue planet. Even more incredible, these lonely worlds don't stay in one place. They're constantly traveling around the galaxy, sometimes moving tens of thousands of miles per hour. Over millions or even billions of years, a rogue planet could pass through different regions of the Milky Way, drifting between stars like a cosmic traveler with no destination. Here's a place in the universe where 1 teaspoon of material would weigh about 1 billion tons. It sounds impossible, but it's true. When a massive star runs out of fuel, it doesn't always explode into a black hole. Sometimes, the star collapses into one of the strangest objects in the universe, a neutron star. Even though it's only about 12 to 15 miles across, a neutron star can contain more mass than our entire sun. Imagine taking something as massive as the Sun, which is over 860,000 miles wide, and squeezing it into a sphere no bigger than a city. The result is an object so dense that the atoms themselves can no longer exist normally. Here's what happens. Under normal conditions, atoms are mostly empty space. If you could zoom into an atom, you'd see a tiny nucleus surrounded by electrons orbiting incredibly far away compared to their size. But when a giant star collapses, gravity becomes so overwhelming that it crushes the electrons and protons together. They combine to form neutrons, creating a gigantic ball made almost entirely of neutrons packed shoulder to shoulder. There is almost no empty space left. That's why neutron stars are so unbelievably dense. If you somehow scooped up just 1 teaspoon of neutron star material and brought it to Earth, it would weigh around 1 billion tons. That's roughly the same weight as an entire mountain compressed into a spoon. Of course, this could never actually happen. The moment that material left the neutron star, the extreme pressure keeping it compressed would disappear, and it would violently expand. But the fact that such matter can even exist is astonishing. Neutron stars also have some of the strongest magnetic fields ever discovered. Their magnetic fields can be trillions of times stronger than Earth's. If one passed halfway between Earth and the Moon, its magnetic field could erase the data on every credit card and electronic device on our planet. Fortunately, the nearest known neutron stars are far too distant to pose any danger. As if that weren't enough, many neutron stars spin at incredible speeds. Some rotate hundreds of times every second. Think about that. A star with more mass than the Sun can spin so fast that a single point on its surface moves at a significant fraction of the speed of light. Scientists call these rapidly spinning objects pulsars. As they rotate, they emit beams of radio waves, X-rays, or gamma rays from their magnetic poles. If those beams sweep past Earth, astronomers detect incredibly precise pulses, almost like the beam from a lighthouse flashing across the ocean. Some pulsars are so accurate that they rival the precision of atomic clocks. The universe is connected by a giant invisible cosmic web. When you look up at the night sky, it seems like galaxies are scattered randomly across space. But they're not. On the largest scale, the universe is organized into an enormous structure called the cosmic web. It's made up of massive strands of galaxies, clouds of gas, and an invisible substance known as dark matter. Imagine a giant three-dimensional spider web stretching across the universe. The strands are filled with galaxies, while the spaces between them are vast empty regions called cosmic voids. Some of these voids are so enormous that they span hundreds of millions of light-years. If our Milky Way were inside one of them, the night sky would contain very few visible galaxies, and civilizations there might never know other galaxies even existed. Scientists believe this entire cosmic web is held together by dark matter, an invisible material that makes up about 85% of all the matter in the universe. We can't see it directly, but we know it's there because of its powerful gravitational pull. Without dark matter, galaxies like our own Milky Way likely wouldn't have formed, and the universe would look completely different. One of the largest known structures in this web stretches billions of light-years across, so large that light itself would take billions of years to travel from one end to the other. The most incredible part is that everything we can see, every star, planet, galaxy, and even ourselves, makes up only a small fraction of the universe. Most of the cosmos is still invisible, and scientists are only beginning to understand how this enormous cosmic web holds everything together. The more we discover, the more we realize that the universe is far larger, stranger, and more connected than we ever imagined. The fastest winds in the universe don't happen on Earth, they happen on a planet hundreds of light-years away. One of the most extreme planets ever discovered is called WASP 127b, a giant gas planet located about 500 light-years from Earth. Scientists discovered that powerful jet streams race through its atmosphere at nearly 20,000 miles per hour. To put that into perspective, the speed of sound is about 760 miles per hour, meaning these winds travel more than 25 times the speed of sound. Nothing on Earth even comes close. The strongest hurricanes on our planet reach only around 200 miles per hour, making them tiny compared to the storms raging on WASP 127b. These incredible winds constantly move heat from one side of the planet to the other, creating weather unlike anything we've ever experienced. Astronomers detected these winds by studying how the planet's atmosphere affected the light from its star as the planet passed in front of it. Even though this world is hundreds of light-years away, scientists can measure the movement of its atmosphere with astonishing accuracy. Every new planet we discover reminds us that Earth is just one small example of what's possible. Some planets have oceans, some rain molten glass, and others have winds so fast they make even the most powerful storms on Earth seem calm. The universe is filled with worlds that are more extreme than anything we could have imagined, and we've only explored a tiny fraction of them.